Hey guys, today we're going to be making some delicious no-bake raspberry cheesecake bars. This is super simple, no baking required, and extra delicious. Let's get started. 1 cup of crushed pecans that are toasted, and room temperature of course. 1/3 of a cup of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of graham cracker crumbs. Gonna give that a whisk just to incorporate everything. To bring it all together, we're adding in 1/2 cup of melted and cooled unsalted butter. We're just gonna fold that in and it's gonna become kind of a paste. That's a nice texture. It's gonna hold together once we compact it. I happen to have a set of these really shallow rectangular baking pans. They're for making opera cakes, I think, but I love using them for bars. If you don't have them, any baking dish will do. Just section it off with tin foil. Cover this in tin foil now. It makes releasing them so easy and you're not gonna break the bars. All right, I'm gonna spoon this in here. The challenge is not to put too much in because it's really just enough to hold it together. Just giving it like a really rough even with my spatula, and then we're gonna press it down. Cheesecake filling is super simple. 1 package of cream cheese, that's 8 ounces, and a splash of vanilla. Maybe like 1/3 of a can of this condensed milk. It's really just for the consistency. Use a French whisk just to mix this up. You could totally use your electric mixer, but mine's broken. Boo. All right, so a little bit of mixing later and the lumps are all gone, and it's a nice consistency for spreading. It'll also set up in the fridge. My crust set up in the freezer for a little bit. You could also use the fridge, and right now I'm gonna smooth on it's my baby in the background. Smooth on some of the cream cheese coating. You don't want to add too much because you have to leave room for the raspberry curd. The raspberry curd doesn't have like a zing to it, so this is like the opposite of zing. It's like super mellow, sweet, and nutty. It'll make a good complement to that. Right, for the raspberry curd, I'm gonna add about 1.5 cups of fresh raspberries into the blender, and then just like a couple squeezes of lemon juice just so it makes a bit of a slurry because the raspberries have like a lot of air in them and you want to have more of a liquid for the blending. Okay, time to puree. Now I have a slurry of delicious raspberry and I'm going to press it through a sieve just so that I can get rid of all the seeds and solids. This recipe calls for 6 egg yolks, and what I'm going to do is add my 1 cup of sugar into my pan and then just add the yolks one at a time. All the egg whites can be saved and used to make either a gross egg white frittata, bleh, or you can make a delicious meringue out of it. Before I start whisking this up, I'm gonna add in the zest of 1 lemon. It's really gonna give me a little bit more depth of flavor and zing. So 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm kind of cheating. I'm adding in a heaping tablespoon of cornstarch, and then also 1 tablespoon of flour as thickening agents. Don't tell anybody, it's our secret. Now we'll give this a nice whisk and then put it over medium heat once it's all combined. So, I almost forgot 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Now let's give it a whisk. On to medium-high heat. And you're gonna continue whisking until it thickens and becomes a little bit clear. Nothing's gonna happen for a long time, but then it'll all happen at once it reaches that magical temperature. This is thickened up, and now I'm gonna add in my 1.5 sticks of butter. That's 10 tablespoons, which is a lot. However, this needs to be thicker because we still have to add our raspberry puree in. So now we're just going to bring the temperature down by mixing in that butter, and the butter is going to cool it and melt as that happens. Adding in 1/3 of a cup of my raspberry puree. Look at that. Whoa, so gorgeous. The last step before we pop this into the fridge for the final set is to pour on our curd. Such a beautiful color. And we're pouring it on warm so it'll set up in the fridge nice and smooth. We're finishing off our blood orange tart with a Swiss meringue dollop situation. It's gonna be really cute and flavored with orange water, so it'll be nice and kind of perfumey. I also have a special guest today. It's my mom.
Hello everyone.
Okay, this is my mom Rita. She's my inspiration, and she's gonna help me make this. Although she hasn't made Swiss meringue buttercream before, have you?
I haven't.
So I'm gonna teach her. We start off with basically a double boiler. So we have a heat-proof bowl, and we have simmering water, and then we have half a cup of egg whites, 1 cup of sugar. It's a lot of sugar. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now we're gonna whisk this together until it reaches about 170. I use a thermometer, but you do not have to. You can just feel it with your fingers. Right now, it's gritty. It's gonna feel kind of sticky and smooth and hot when you rub it between your fingers.
It also gets very white and thick, right?
Yeah, it's basically the starting point of a really nice meringue. So we're cooking the egg whites so they're safe to eat, although I eat raw eggs all the time and it's fine. And then we're basically strengthening them with the sugar and the heat so they can hold up the butter. And it's gonna give you a really nice creamy buttercream that holds its shape well. And it's very silky too. All right, so we've been whisking for a while and it's just at about 160, a little bit under, that's fine. You can see the consistency is already really nice. And when I use my little fingertips, it's hot, it's gooey, and it's smooth. It's tasty. Okay, turn the heat off, and now we're gonna pour this into our standing mixer and start whipping it. It's gonna whip for maybe like 5 to 10 minutes until it's nice and giving you a strong but soft peak. And in we go. All right, and mixing it up. And it's done. So in addition to whipping up, my mom's like, why is this taking so long? It's because you're letting it come to room temperature. If you're in a hurry, you can take some frozen peas and pack it on the bowl and that cools it down more quickly. But if it's too hot, you're gonna melt your butter and it'll turn into a soup, which you can bring back to life sometimes by sticking it in the fridge or the freezer for a few minutes, cooling it down even more and then re-whipping it.
Makes sense.
But that's not 100%. So just take a look right now at
beautiful.
how gorgeous this is. Like this is
lovely.
Stunning. Like I want to eat this right now.
Don't.
Well, you could. This is actually a beautiful meringue. So you could pipe this onto something, even like an ice cream scoop or something, broil it or torch it.
Yeah, torch it then.
But you could put it in the broiler too. And you know, it's less fattening. Has some protein in it. So. My mom's horrified by how much butter this has, but like that's real life, and sugar. She's on a diet always. She eats healthily, she's not on a diet.
I just reduce things.
Yeah. All right, so now I'm gonna add my butter in. I'm gonna do it a tablespoon at a time while it's mixing, and you're gonna notice that this will decrease in volume, and it might even become kind of soupy or look like it's not totally homogeneous, but it's okay. All I have to do is keep whipping it up, and that'll fix it. So let's get started. And you have to use room temperature butter, by the way. Not melted butter, not cold butter, room temperature. I'm just use my fingers, they're clean. The last time I made this, I joked that it was like dropping coins into a fountain. Yeah, now we're going to...
Oh, nice.
Scrape the bowl down because you have a lot of like pure meringue, which is actually really pretty.
Or pure butter.
Yeah, and there's also some butter that's not mixed in there well too. See how beautiful and sharp that is? I don't know if you can tell, but it's really like, it's nice. So take a little taste.
I like that it's not too sweet.
Yeah, not too sweet, just right. I'm just gonna take a toothpick and do that. That gives me it. See, I want a very soft color. Also gonna flavor this with just a little drop of orange blossom water.
You can use more of this.
It's really, I love it.
I love it too.
So before I get started, I just wanna show you, here are my 3 white, light, and dark colors, which are gonna create my ombre effect. I'm using like a thickness of maybe 2.5 inches or so. Just make sure you wipe your knife down after each cut so you can get a nice clean edge. Now it's time to pipe our Swiss meringue buttercream dollops. Try and get like a nice random pattern, alternating the different colors and sizes. And if you really want to be fancy, you can finish it off with a little bit of gold. These bars are so delicious. I really enjoyed this recipe. I hope you get to try it out. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.